had all set up, disappeared because he had done a bunch of stuff. So, we got it fixed.
That's what we got you.
Yeah, we got it fixed.
Get this dinosaur out of here.
Is it still brought up, Jim? Yeah.
Let's get this technology in here now.
In just 3 weeks,
Are you guys coming in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to be in the back of his.
We are live on Facebook.
There's so many carts here. There's so many carts.
Squeeze in. Squeeze in.
Do we have some carts? You have to slide the magnet to erase it.
You ready, bud? So I lied earlier when I said that was the last of Jokes with Jasher. The response has been so overwhelming. He has an encore joke, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the encore joke to take us out today?
What did the left eye say to the right eye?
What did the left eye say to the right eye?
Between us, something smells.
Thank you very much, Emily. You did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
There you go. I'll buy you something to eat. How does that sound?
That's the second time.
That's the second time. Yeah, I know. That's all you're getting. So, hey, I want to thank everybody for being here. Jake showed up with his lovely gal. Harrison's here. Shelley and Julie are here. I think I saw Russ's truck earlier.
He's here.
Russ is here?
Indisposed at the moment.
With a toddler.
Russ has to pay. So that's okay. And that's the way I wanted it when I wrap things up, because I have my family here and I have my radio family here, and that's the way it should be, because that's the way it's been for 46 years. You work for someplace for that long. You have family. You make family. You learn all about other people's families because you are family. And I have a list. I'm going to miss somebody, and if I miss you, I apologize. I really do. But first and foremost, I want to thank McKibben Media. 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, Jamie and Katina McKibben bought WCSR, made us a part of McKibben Media, which also includes a number of stations up in Jackson and 99.5 The Dale here in Hillsdale. And Jamie's vision for this station was to keep it local, to keep it relevant, and to keep it having fun and happening. And I think we've done that. Unfortunately, we lost Jamie way too soon. But I really want to thank Katina for keeping the station. And a number of things that have happened in the background that benefit you, the listener. In the last couple of years, we've got a brand new generator. Actually, 2 brand new generators. Funny story last year. We got a brand new transmitter. We've had a number of other behind-the-scenes improvements made here at WCSR, all to help our broadcast get to you, the listener. So my thanks to Katina for doing an outstanding job. I want to thank Dennis Worden, who came in a very tough spot. Dennis was the man who had to replace Jamie. Not his owner, but his general manager, and I think Dennis has done an outstanding job. I didn't know much about radio when he started, but does now, and is doing an outstanding job keeping WCSR flowing smoothly, and the stations up in Jackson as well. I want to thank everybody that currently works for WCSR, especially Julie. She and I have been together
25 years this month?
25 years. And it seems, there are days where it seems like yesterday, and days just seems like it's been 25 years. But she and I have been through a lot here at the station, and I'm glad that I went through it with her. I've never done it with anybody else. And her husband-to-be, James. So appreciate James. He's the newest member of the staff. I also want to thank Shelley. Shelley was a longtime WCSR supporter when she was with Warner Brothers back in the day. And then said, hey, I'm out of a job, what can you do? And so Shelley is now on board with us. I want to thank Jake for coming in. I've known Jake since the Grab and Go days.
That's right.
And now Jake is part of the Morning Mojo with Russ. My thanks to Russ as well. Russ had a tough job as well. Russ stepped in after Park stepped down to take on the news department, and Russ has done that excellently well. He's done an outstanding job, and of course, appreciate all his help over the years. So here's, and I want to thank Andy. Andy Brown has been with WCSR for almost as long as Julie has. So Andy's going to keep motoring right along, but my thanks to Andy for all of his help, and we've needed him here, there, and everywhere. Thanks, of course, to Emma Ray over on the Dale. Thanks to Harrison. Thanks to Thomas Bezick. By the way, speaking of Harrison, so Harrison's the new afternoon guy. In case you have not been told, Harrison takes over afternoons on Monday. Julie's coming back to do middays. So middays with Julie Morgan, starting Monday at 10. And then Harrison gets the afternoon shift. And all the crap that goes along with it. So, but he says he's ready, and you're in the best hands. I want to thank all of our advertisers, past, present, and future, because without our advertisers, there's no WCSR. We simply do not exist without the advertising dollars that these people have entrusted us with. And that's the key word right there, is entrusted. We have a small, but very active and fun sales staff. We've always had a small staff, but I think we have done an outstanding job keeping listeners up to date and informed in all of the sales, all of the bargains, and all of the things happening across Hillsdale County when it comes to all of our advertisers, whether you sell furniture, cars, groceries, shoes, it doesn't matter. I learned more about RVs and furniture here at WCSR than I never thought I would in my entire life. So, I don't really want to single anybody out, but thanks to everybody who entrusted WCSR with your hard-earned advertising dollars. We talked about the current employees. Also want to thank the former employees that I grew up with. Park Hayes, Pat Patterson, a couple of guys that, you learned to love way back in the day. Jimmy Eckert, Gary Floyd, Dick Murray, who was a man about everything down here at the station. Mary Rarick, who Julie took her spot. That was 25 years ago. Zach Heiser, who stopped by earlier and brought us booze. Thank you, Zach. You know where I live. All the part-timers and weekenders and college kids that had no idea how to pronounce Osseo. Julia through those days as well. So everybody that worked here at WCSR, whether you worked here for a day, we're the only radio station that has their very own magician on staff. Find another radio station that has a magician on staff. He appeared last week, so it was great to see BJ. I think he still rents out, so if you got a wedding reception, or a mitzvah, a wake, or something like that, you need a magician, BJ's there. I need to thank Scotty Philly Cheesesteak Phillips, who was out of town this weekend. But Scott was my broadcast partner in sports for about 25 years, and we talked about it on the air and stuff. He and I lived through a whole lot of ups and downs when it came to Hillsdale High School and Hillsdale College, Jonesville, Pittsburgh, Reading, Waldron, all of them. And he and I spent a lot of time in the car. A lot of time in the car. We spent a lot of time in the car, and not a better person to spend that time with. I need to thank the other Flynn family. One more time. I'm no relation to them. The people that stopped by our party last week and said, hey, is your brother Mike here? No, he's in Florida. The other Mike Flynn, though, was there. But I want to thank Tony Flynn for taking a chance. I mean, when my dad was down here, Tony just kind of said, well, if he's going to hang around, I'm going to put him to work. And okay, and I'm still here. So my thanks to Tony, my thanks to Mike. He became a brother to me. We had our good days. Every now and again, we'd have a little spat. There wasn't a time that would go by where I didn't hear, we're not going there. Or he'd look over his glasses. Or I'd get a phone call because somebody called him and said, you hear what Bob said? But through it all, Mike was one of my biggest supporters because he knew what we were doing was the right thing for WCSR in the Hillsdale area. We were keeping our listeners happy. I want to thank his brothers, Pat and Daniel and little Tony and Kelly, Sister Rita. Again, not only do we have a company magician, but we had a company nun. They kept us blessed. And I do need to thank Jamie Flynn for two things. One, for being there as a great family person, and B, for not showing up today. Jamie had a plan. We discussed that plan. The Federal Communications Commission in Washington, D.C. nixed that plan. So Jamie didn't show up today. But my thanks for him being part of all this as well. I want to thank my own family. First and foremost, my dad, who got me into this 46 years ago. Like I said in that newspaper article, hey, if you can sit and talk and get paid, why not? Nothing against any other occupation out there, but if you can talk and get paid, because I used to get in trouble in school for talking too much, believe it or not. And I'm getting paid for it. Not a whole lot, but I'm getting paid for it. So my thanks to my mom and my dad, all my brothers and my sister, because, we talked about them on the radio. I want to thank my wife, Cindy, for learning about the world of radio. I don't think she understands it to this day, but she understands that there are times when, radio comes first, work comes first, and we don't have a typical job, a 9-to-5 job here at WCSR. So sometimes, radio comes first, and that means I have to also thank Matt, and Jessica, and Nicholas, and Stephanie, and Rachel, and Jasher for understanding that sometimes Dad or Grandpa can't be there for everything because I have to work. It's just, it sucks, but that's the way it was. And I'm appreciative that they understood that. Sometimes didn't like it, but eventually understood that, hey, Dad's got to go to work, and that's understandable. And finally and foremost, I need to thank you, the listening public. Because without you, there's no me. Without you, there's no us. Without you, there's no reason to be on the air. And it is you that I'm going to miss the most. You were there when Matt was born. You were there when I got married. You were there when the kids grew up. I mean, you were there for everything. Not just stuff in my family, but, you were there when we were keeping you up to date on bad weather, the tornadoes, the storms, the snow and ice, the canceled and delayed, and the canceled and delayed, and the canceled and delayed, and the canceled and delayed. I understand that we were your companion when you were home alone, when you were in the hospital, when you were lying there dying, when people were born. We kept dogs company. We kept cows company. We kept others company. We were just there for you. And for you to come up and say, hey, thank you. Or you made me smile today. That was my one job here at WCSR, was to keep you entertained for best as we could. And if I put a smile on your face, that's all I needed to do. So I want to thank you, most importantly, the listener here at WCSR, for listening. And I encourage you to keep listening. Even though there's going to be a shift and Harrison's coming in and all of that, we're still going to be here. We're still on FM 92.1. The Dale is still on 99.5 and 1340. We're still going to keep you up to date on news, sports, weather. We're going to keep you entertained. We've got the smoke show coming up. We've got the boat giveaway that we're doing. We've got the fair in the fall. We've got all that thing. Nothing of that's going to change. So even though the voices are going to be different, it's still going to be Radio Hillsdale, WCSR. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Yeah, we'll stop it.
Do we get to win shit now?
Yes, you do. Yes. Now the family can enter to win.
Where's that boat?
You're at Radio Hillsdale. Where's that boat? Stay tuned. News is coming up next. But before it does, hang on, I want to do one more thing. Before it does, I have one final word. Booger.
Jamie was going to say.
Well,
You're gonna pay that $12,000 if it rolls around.
Whoa, what's going on?